Hey guys, my name is Gail. Today I'm going to talk about Facebook Marketplace again. Today though, it's a little bit different. I've had some questions that come up when it comes to Facebook Marketplace on the videos that I've done, and so I am here to address some of those concerns. If you've watched my videos, I do sell on multiple platforms. Facebook Marketplace is one that I'm a proponent of because the fees for selling on Facebook are only 5%. That's considerably lower, about a third of what the other platforms that you're allowed to sell on actually charge. So it's not really bad, and it has a pretty decent audience for your items. Some of the things that keep coming up consistently are people asking me about the option to ship on Facebook Marketplace, because obviously you have a local presence that you can sell items on, but you're really going to have a good home run when it comes to selling something online where you can ship it and their location doesn't really matter. But a lot of people are telling me they don't have the option for shipping. I don't know why, guys. I really don't know why. There's a few options. I've addressed that in my questions answered video on Facebook Marketplace, but I can tell you that some people won't have it because of where they're located, maybe the country that they're in. It's not available everywhere. I'm in the United States and it's available here. However, there are some people who still can't see it. I've been told that if you're new to Facebook Marketplace or Facebook in general, you don't have that option right away. When the time period is before you actually get it is unknown. It's not anywhere on Facebook's page. There's no information that says you must wait a certain time period. I would suggest if you don't have it and that's your only problem, then I would contact Facebook Marketplace and request that they bump you up and give you that option. The other thing is some of the categories don't allow shipping. So keep that in mind. That might be why you can't have access to it. Some categories do not allow shipping, and that may be why as well. I would just suggest that you contact them and tell them you really would like to ship on Facebook Marketplace. You're not having that option available to you, and would they please move you up and see if they respond. So the other thing that keeps popping up is the Social Security number dilemma. When you reach $599 in sales, Facebook Marketplace will ask you for your tax ID or your Social Security number in order to continue selling through their shipping portion on Facebook Marketplace. That is because they have to report that information to the IRS. So they have to have it. Personally, when they prompted me for it, I was actually in the middle of receiving an order and it put that on hold completely. I provided the information that they prompted me for, and within about 2 hours, I was able to proceed with that order and with other shipping options, and I was able to continue without a problem. The problem is some people are saying that they're told within a couple of days they'll have a response. In the meantime, they're not able to do any shipping orders for anyone. Some are saying that it's been a week, some are saying months, and they still don't have a reply. My suggestion is to contact Facebook Marketplace and say, what the hell? I've given you the information you need. What's going on? That's really all you can do. Ask them for help and see what they say. Why some are fast and others aren't, I really don't know. And the only person that can answer that is someone at Facebook Marketplace. And to be honest, I don't know that they can answer it. But it is out of your control. The only thing you can do is try to follow up and see where they're at. Facebook Marketplace does not offer a phone number for you to call. It's all through messaging, and you can find that in your profile. Just scrolling down, there's somewhere in there, there's an option for you to contact Facebook Marketplace for their support. Most recently, when it comes to providing the Social Security information, people are saying that it's coming up with a message saying, sorry, something went wrong, please try again. That is something that I've been seeing pop up recently. We're in almost the middle of April of 2021. In case you're watching this video later, this may or may not be resolved by then, but just so you'll know, that's been popping up. Again, I would say on that, contact Facebook Marketplace and let them know the trouble that you're experiencing. Provide everything you can up front, screenshots, very detailed information, because it takes them a couple days to respond to you. And the last thing you want is for them to respond to you with another question that you have to answer back to them and wait another couple of days. On one of my recent videos of the new feature they have called Delete and Relist, you can see that video here. Don't look now, wait until later. That video tells you that that's a newer feature where you can select that. Once you've reached all of your renewals, you can delete and it will relist the item for you and give it a fresh new set of eyes. In fact, I did that last night. Super happy because I got a sale within an hour from something that had been sitting there for, no kidding, 6 months. But I did have a viewer that said when they delete and relist, it does not delete the old listing. That is a problem. So what they're seeing is duplicates. I have not experienced that. When I see it, I've even gone through after I saw that message and done a search in all of Facebook Marketplace for my item. I'm not seeing it. I'm going to my actual listings. You can click on the profile, click on your listings, and there's a search field at the top. You can search for a keyword in the title, and if it doesn't pop up, then you know it's not there. Something to keep in mind is when you list on Facebook Marketplace, towards the end when you're finalizing your listing, you have an option to add that listing to other groups that you're a part of. So I personally have other groups in my county that are selling platforms that I can sell locally on, and I can choose the option to post there as well as Marketplace all at the same time. So if you're doing a delete and relist, then what will happen is it will delete on Facebook Marketplace and relist it on Facebook Marketplace, but it does not do the renewal of the listings or manage all those listings on the other platforms. It may be the case where they're actually seeing it on the other platforms, because when you do go in there and you click on your listings and you do a search, if you see 3 or 4 different items that are the same, that doesn't mean they're all on Facebook Marketplace. That may be 3 or 4 different groups that you're a part of. And one way to find out is if you click on the item, just below the title and description, it will tell you what group it's in. I remember someone telling me that it deletes and doesn't relist and it completely disappears. Again, I have not experienced that. If that's the case, then I would suggest contacting someone at Facebook to try to get a hold of them and figure out what's going on. I wanted to get all of those items addressed because they keep popping up. It's constant that I get messages on those items, so I just wanted to address it the best I can. Bottom line, contact Facebook Marketplace for support. I wish you the best of luck contacting them. Now let's get into the reason why I even thought to make this video. Should we continue selling on Facebook Marketplace? Is it time to quit Facebook and move on to something else? Personally, I list on multiple platforms. Facebook Marketplace is not my only bread and butter and way that I sell items. I do sell on eBay predominantly because I get the most sales from there. I also cross-post my items to Facebook Marketplace and Mercari and sometimes Poshmark. It's good to not put all your eggs in one basket. Now, there is an issue that I've been seeing come up quite a bit lately, and that is around buyer protection and the items that people purchase from you as a seller on Facebook. I have seen on the Facebook platforms, and others have told me personally experiences that they've had with buyers and their returns. Once or twice I've had someone contact me and tell me that the item that they received was damaged, broken, or what have you. I went to the item that I had sold, and there's an option for me to refund the buyer, which I did. That was pretty simple, cut and dry. Others are telling me, however, that the buyer, instead of contacting the seller directly, is contacting Facebook Marketplace and opening a case against the seller, saying that the item was either not received, was received in a different condition in which they ordered, or is just simply damaged. If you're not familiar with reselling in general, one thing to know is there's a lot of scams and a lot of fraud from potential buyers out there. As a seller, we must have protection ourselves. It's very common and well known in the field that a lot of people will buy something from Amazon, brand new, turn around, put their old item in that box, keep the new item, and ship it back to Amazon as a return. Amazon doesn't protect their sellers at all. They don't question it. They just accept the return. When the return comes back, they don't look at the item. They don't care about the condition or if the claim was even true that the buyer submitted. The seller's just out that item. That is kind of infiltrating into eBay. However, eBay does allow the seller to review the item and make sure it's received in the same condition that they sent it in, as well as that it is truly, in fact, the item that they did send out and not a scam, before offering the refund to the buyer. So here is the issue with Facebook Marketplace. Some are saying that the buyer is opening a case against the seller on Facebook Marketplace, whether it was item damaged, not as described, whatever the reason is. Facebook Marketplace is automatically refunding the buyer and in some cases taking back the funds from the seller. This means as a seller, if that happens to me, What's actually occurring is that the buyer is getting my item. They're not required to return it before getting a refund, and Facebook just gives them their money back. So then they have the money and they have the product. There's no way that's fair to the seller at all. This past week, Facebook Marketplace did a live, which was actually very promising to look forward to, and it was related to the seller protection of all of this and how we appeal cases and what they are going to do in order to make sure our voices are heard when it comes to issues like this. So I'm going to make sure that I link that live video in the description. If you missed it, it's still out there, and you might get to see what a joke it was. They only answered about 10 questions. Where those questions came from, I don't know. The comments were flowing with questions from other people that were not addressed. And at the very end, she said, let's take questions from the audience. And she paused for about 2 seconds and then said, well, just leave them in the comments and we'll answer them later. It was a joke. They basically said that they do encourage the buyer to contact the seller if there's an issue before contacting Facebook Marketplace. One guy repeatedly suggested, because this is what he does, that after you sell the item, once you show that it's delivered to the customer, that you contact them through the messenger and say, was everything as you expected? And then ask them to rate you if that's something you want to do. I don't like doing this. I do normally let them know, hey, I've sent it. I hope you enjoy it. And that's all. But Facebook says that they're looking at the messages that go between the buyer and the seller. And if they do have a case open, according to them, they will see that you contacted them, and that gives them the opportunity that if there's something wrong with the item, that they have that option to say, no, actually something isn't right. And then they're dealing with you on it. And as a seller, you have the option to work with the buyer and get this resolved without involving Facebook. If you don't do this, then there's no communication necessarily for Facebook to review, and it makes it a little more difficult for them to side with the seller, I guess. But anyway, if this is something that you'd want to do, I highly recommend it. Kind of makes sense that if you do have that communication, if a case is opened against you and they can read that the buyer said, yes, everything's fine, and then if they turn around and open a case, then it might lead them to question whether or not the buyer is on the up and up. So to be honest, I'm struggling a little bit with this. I really like selling on Facebook Marketplace. I get a considerable amount of sales from it. I don't think this is something that I will stop doing, but I can tell you that the higher profit items, I will not sell on Facebook. If I'm not willing to lose the money, I'm not going to sell on Facebook Marketplace. For example, if I have a camera that I want to sell and it's a $200 camera, I'm not listing it on Facebook. I'll put it on eBay where I know I have protection. eBay does side with the buyer when it comes to a lot of items. However, you do have somewhat of a fair shot when it comes to eBay selling and problems with the buyer. On Facebook Marketplace, I'm not willing to take the chance that the item that I sent out is never going to come back, and I'm also going to be out the money. Because not only are we out the money, we're out the product and we can't turn around and resell it. So if I'm not willing to risk it and lose that money, I won't sell it on Facebook. On the little bread and butter items, I'm going to continue doing on Facebook, but the high ticket items, I'm going to use that for a different platform. An option you could do possibly is just mark it maybe as local and somehow just say that you require the payment is made through PayPal and have them pay you through PayPal and don't involve Facebook Marketplace at all. I don't think you can do that and have the shipping option, so that's something to keep in mind, but it will give you the protection. It also continues to give the buyer protection, but PayPal will do proper research before siding with the buyer. So what do you think? Is it time to quit selling on Facebook Marketplace altogether for you? Or are you just going to continue and give it a shot and see what happens? I really think it's a great platform. They are struggling. They're new. They don't really have it together. They're not organized. There are some definite flaws when it comes to selling on Facebook Marketplace. Their platform changes frequently, sometimes for the better, and sometimes items just disappear and you wonder where that went. Renewing listings, those are gone, but then sometimes it's back. Like sometimes I have to go in each item to renew it, and sometimes it just has that option at the top says renew listing. I can click it and then just click renew, renew, renew. I think sometimes they just don't know what they're doing, but I do like that they're changing the platform. I think they're trying, but honestly, the live that they did was a joke. Is this scaring you a little bit? What is your plan? And If you have any issues with Facebook Marketplace that I haven't addressed in this video or any prior videos, I would ask that you please comment with what the issue is that you're having. I will try to see if I have an answer for it. If I do, I'll make a video to answer your questions. But I always encourage you to contact Facebook Marketplace through their messaging system and ask them for assistance. I can only give you some guidance if I know the answer, but sometimes I just don't know the answer and I can't help you. I hope this video adds a little bit of clarity. Honestly, I'm a little frustrated with Facebook Marketplace, but I am still a proponent of their platform. Again, you get what you pay for. You're paying 5%. 3% of that is what they have to pay to process our payments. So they're really only making about 2% off of our sales. They're not making a lot. I could tell they're somewhat trying. They've got a long road ahead of them to improve their system. And they really need someone, a team or a person or a group of people that are advocates of sellers and who actually listen to what's being said by the sellers, because we're raising questions and concerns that they should be aware of. Make sure to go to the description of this video, click on the link for that Facebook Live video. I don't remember how long it was. It was probably not more than 20 minutes, but I think it's important for you to watch it. And then also don't forget to look at the comments in that video, and you'll be able to see the problems that people are raising and trying to get questions addressed that they have. So you're not alone if you're struggling. I promise you that. I'm not struggling myself, and I hope never to do so, but I do know for sure I'm not quitting completely, but I'm definitely going to not list super high dollar items on the platform because I'm not willing to lose it. That's my PSA. Don't forget, say hi in the comments, and I hope you like my video. If not, I'm really sorry. Check you later. Bye, y'all.